Good evening and welcome to the Lagos studios of IATV. I am Adegboyega Labiran with the news. Lagos Police Command today arraigned 3 women who allegedly assaulted 2 policemen while on duty. 47-year-old Fatima, 32-year-old Mutialt, and 41-year-old Dupe are residents and traders in Mushin area of the state. They were arraigned before an Ikeja magistrate court on a 4-count charge of breach of peace, resisting arrest, serious assault, and conspiracy. According to the prosecutor, Inspector Ando Hemba Koti, the defendants committed the offense on March 23rd at Mushin, Lagos State. He said that the defendants assaulted Assistant Superintendent of Police Abayomi Adejumo and Inspector Oluwaseun Adelaja while trying to restore peace in our situation. The defendants, however, denied the charges. IATV News reports that 2 of the alleged offenses could attract a 3-year jail term each. Still in Lagos State, the federal and state government have been tasked to build a merit-driven team across all sections of the civil service. Frontline economist and Delta State governorship aspirant in the last general election, Professor Pat Utomi, gave the charge at a civil service growth workshop organized by the Lagos State government. Utomi, who is the guest lecturer, explained that a civil service structure driven by merit was the best means of institutionalizing efficiency in public service.
Building a merit-driven team to build high performance. And the need for high performance is something that is so high in our country today. We need to improve the quality of life of so many, bring service closer to the citizen.
While commending Lagos State government for putting up such training, Utomi called on other state governments to emulate the commitment of Lagos State in the training and retraining of its civil service. Responding on behalf of the Lagos State government, the Commissioner for Establishment, Training and Pension, Benson Oke, assured of the state commitment to the welfare of its workforce.
This kind of thing will only increase the productivity, be it governmental or non-governmental sector. There will be an increment in productivity. That one informed the governor of Lagos State, Governor His Excellency Governor Kunmi Amode, to give his approval to that trend, so that the Lagos State Ministry of Establishment, Training and Pension will keep on training and retraining the Lagos State public servants.
Participants were drawn from all sections of the Lagos State Public Service. And now to Ogun State. Newly appointed permanent secretaries in Ogun State are to be sworn in tomorrow. Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu had on Tuesday approved the appointment of 18 new permanent secretaries from the state civil service, an appointment that seems to be generating controversies in the state. The newly appointed permanent secretaries include Mosuro Olatubosun, Bajela Abayomi, Ogunremi Olufunke, and Odulano Dolapo. Meanwhile, the governor also approved the appointments of Oludiji Akinhomi as the general manager of Ogun State Broadcasting Corporation, OGBC, and Festus Kehinde for Ogun State Television, OGTV. The constant gridlock on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has become worrisome as snail speed pace of the construction work on the road puts untold hardship, loss of lives and properties, as well as terrible experiences on residents, drivers and passengers who ply the road. While many commuters who spoke with IATV News on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road believe that the constant traffic is caused by the slow pace of construction on the expressway, the Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, identified other causes of gridlock on the road. ITV's Faith Agbetuya has the details.
Julius Berger Nigeria and Reynolds Construction Companies were directed to take over the construction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway by former President Goodluck Jonathan, who initiated the reconstruction project in July 2013, giving the contractors 4 years to complete the project at a cost of 167 billion naira. The project, which was put up in the first place to accommodate the huge number of trucks and other vehicles plying the road every day, started in 2013 and had 2017 as the initial completion date, which was later shifted to early 2019. 4 months into the year 2019, the work is yet to be completed. Sector Commander of FRSC in Ogun State, Clement Oladele, however, explained that the failure to complete the construction work by the contractors, as well as the unwholesome attitude of drivers on the road, has always caused serious gridlocks on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
The construction companies, they will use pillars or whatever barriers they can use to deliberately slow down traffic, so that while traffic is moving, then the construction workers can continue to use the road, or continue to repair the road. And in doing that, various types of vehicles they ply the road, from smaller cars to minivans up to even trucks.
Some commuters on the road who spoke with IATV News in Lagos lamented that apart from the countless accidents and deaths recorded on the road in the past, the road construction has left many of its users in indescribable suffering.
Because we have been facing a lot of traffic on this road. Since Julius Berger started this work, we are facing the challenges. Please, if there's a way, they can help us so that things will be all right for people. People are dying on this road.
The go-slow was terrible, to the extent that people are following one way. People that are going to Mowe, they are going normal, while the other people that are coming from Lagos followed one way. To people that are coming from Mowe, the go-slow was terrible.
It has been very stressful, very hectic. It's been a very terrible experience.
The FRSC boss also reacted to complaints by the commuters about the barricades put on the road by the construction companies and the high influx of trucks on the road.
Due to the infrastructural renewal of the present government, you have loads of construction going on. And we are also having agralite companies that are springing up in various parts of Ogun State. That also involves lots of trucks. That is why you see Ogun State seems to be the state that has the highest number of trucks in the country. For instance, the crashes that happen in Ogun State, even though the trucks are about 40% of the 380,000 vehicles we have in Ogun State, they constitute 60% of the crashes.
He advised road users to follow traffic rules to the letter and drive with caution on the expressway, especially now that the road construction is still ongoing, and promised to always ensure the security of lives and properties on the road in conjunction with other sister agencies.
And now to Ondo State, where training and retraining of men and officers of the Nigerian Army remains veritable catalyst for combating various security challenges facing the country. The General Officer commanding GOC 2 Division of Nigerian Army, Ibadan, Major General Okudili Azinta, stated this at the corporal and below competition at the 32 Artillery Brigade cantonment in Akure, Ondo State. Major General Okudili Azinta, represented by Brigadier General Koko Isoni, said training was the bedrock of professionalism in the Army. He said effective military training will help achieve coherent and concise collective standard operations.
At improving leadership traits, organizational ability, use of initiative, and to promote esprit de corps by personnel in that category. It is also designed to prepare them for battle, especially in combating contemporary security challenges in the country.
While you stay here, please make friends, enjoy yourself,
so that when you go home, you have stories to tell.
The state governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, represented by his chief of staff, Gbenga Ale, said government will continue to provide enabling environment for military personnel to operate in the state.
Training his personnel to be better able to carry out his task of ensuring the security of lives and property both in Ondo State and the country at large. Training, as we all know, is the bedrock of any organization and a sustainer of work efficiency.
55 participants drawn from army formations in the division took part in a week-long training program. And now the business news. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Emmanuel Ibe Kachiku, has challenged exploration and production companies in Nigeria to raise daily crude oil production to 7 million barrels per day from the about 2.1 million barrels per day currently produced. Ibe Kachuku, who urged all stakeholders in the petroleum industry to put all hands on deck to actualize the aspiration, also said the country's oil and gas sector should have rapidly developing infrastructures, while all bearing communities ought to be well developed with proceeds from the sale of crude oil. He encouraged Nigerian operators to move into other African countries and use Nigeria's 60 years experience in the sector to lead the operations in their fields. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has said that states and federal debt stock data as of December 31st, 2018 reflected that the country's foreign and domestic debt stood at $25.25 billion and 16.6 trillion naira respectively. A statement obtained from the website further said the disaggregation of Nigeria's foreign debt showed that $11.01 billion of the debt was multilateral, $344.63 million was bilateral, another $2.7 billion bilateral from the Exim Bank of China, JICA, India, and KFW, while $11.17 billion was basically Eurobonds and diaspora bonds. Lagos State has the highest foreign debt profile among the 36 states, and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, accounting for 5.64%, Edo 1.09%, Kaduna 0.90%, and Cross River 0.75%, followed closely. Similarly, total domestic debt was 16.63 trillion naira, with Lagos State accounting for 3.19% of the total domestic debt stock, while Yobe State has the least debt stock in this category with a contribution of 0.17% to the total domestic stock. Nigeria has once again received a word of caution from the World Bank with reference to her choice of source for loans. According to a recommendation from the World Bank, loans to countries should conform to Paris Club arrangements. This is not always the case of loans from China. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's external debt currently stands at 25.27 trillion naira, while domestic debt stood at 16.6 trillion naira. Lagos State has the highest foreign debt profile. Similarly, total domestic debt was 16.63 trillion naira, with Lagos State accounting for 3.19% of the total domestic debt stock, while Yobe State has the least debt stock in this category with a contribution of 0.17% to the total domestic stock. IETV Business News spoke with an economic analyst and started by asking him to explain what Nigeria could do to reduce her debt stock.
You want to build your reserves. One easy way is to ensure that you no longer import petroleum products, because we are an oil producing country. And we are perhaps the only oil producing country that imports petroleum products on a scale at which we are currently importing. We must be spending between 8 to 10 billion US dollars annually importing petroleum products. And yet we are an oil producing country. Then we can also look at other aspects of import dependence, raw materials, consumer products. If you build domestic capacity, you will reduce import dependence.
It will be recalled that Nigeria, in a report, had earlier been recognized as the 6th most miserable country on earth. She was also featured amongst 7 countries where hungriest people live, and only recently situated by the World Bank as a country whose economy is sleeping. Over now to the stock market report. On Tuesday, April 14, 2019, stockbrokers acting on the instructions of investors traded in a total of 224 ordinary shares valued at 2 billion naira. When the closing bell rang, Zenith Bank PLC led the activity chart with 45.4 million ordinary shares valued at 928 million naira. Lasaco Assurance PLC came second on the activity chart with 42.3 million ordinary shares valued at 12.7 million naira. Guarantee Trust Bank PLC topped the gainers chart with 70 kobo to close trading at 34.25. FBNH came second with a 45 kobo gain to close at 7 naira. However, Flour Mills led the pack of losers with a drop of 40 kobo to close trading at 16 naira. Tana PLC 35 kobo to close the lanes at 4 naira. All-share index closed today's trading at 29,347.62 points, all in a total of 3,127 transactions, while market capitalization came to a close at 11.02 trillion naira. And with that, we come to the end of the business news. Over now to Ibadan for the next segment of the news. I am Adegboyega Labiron, thanking you for having stayed tuned. Good evening.